Hi, this is Steve, CEO of PageDNA, here to talk about reporting in PageDNA. You've got a lot of information collected in your web-to-print platform, and it's critical to be able to get that information out of the system and into the hands of both people and systems, both inside your organization and often outside your organization. We've been working on this problem for 25 years here at PageDNA, and even with longstanding customers, they're often surprised to find out how powerful our reporting is. So whether you're new to PageDNA or you're a seasoned vet, today we're going to get into PageDNA's reporting at a high level to help you understand the power of our capabilities and how to use this tool. Now, before we get into that, I want to make sure everybody knows that we have extensive support on our website to help you learn about features like our reporting. When you go to our website and click on Features and Benefits at the top, we have created individual pages for many of these powerful functions we have in PageDNA, including, of course, today's topic, reporting. When you go in here, you learn not only what these features do, but critically, you learn the business value, how this helps you, how this helps your team, how it removes manual, wasteful touches that are eating up your precious time in a time we can't afford to be wasting time. Additionally, when you go into the PageDNA documentation and search for the word reports, you'll find extensive documentation going far beyond anything I'm going to cover today. Today's demonstration is intended to be high level, but I'm not going to explain what each individual report does. That's why we have the documentation here. You can click in and learn much more detail about these types of reports that I'll just be touching on at a high level. Now in PageDNA, you can run reports at two levels. You can run it at the hub level, which spans all of your live storefronts. So you can run a report across your entire usage of PageDNA, or you can go into a storefront and actually just look inside that storefront and run reports inside the store. Today, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be inside of my demonstration storefront, and I'm going to go into the back end that we call the dashboard. You can get to it by clicking the word menu here, and here we are in the PageDNA dashboard. Really easy to find reports. You just type in the word reports, and you can either click with your mouse or you can just enter, and our system's going to pull up our report generator within the storefront. Now, I've got a lot of saved reports here. I've been doing a lot of demos on this site for a while, but we're going to create a new report. By clicking the plus button, we're brought into a menu that shows us the reports that are available to us. Now, some of these relate to things like budget codes or discounts or sales tax that we've collected that you might need to have to report to the Board of Equalization, various states in which you have a nexus. Others are related to production things like where a particular job ended up on a particular group of orders with PageDNA's automated imposition, another feature you can learn about on our website. Others relate to things like inventory, not only the inventory on hand, but how we ended up at that level, the inventory history, which is a journaled step-by-step list of every order, replenishment, answering the question, how did we end up with 500 of these products? I thought there were 5,000. Here's each little breadcrumb leading up to that answer. Critical information for you and your customers if you do inventory control. Today, I'm going to do a very classic report used by many of our customers, which is the shipped items report. As its name implies, these are items that have actually shipped, so they're billable. So this is often used to extract information that is then brought into accounting, general ledgers, and other softwares, perhaps QuickBooks. So I'm going to create this, and I'm going to call this Steve's Shipped Orders. That report name will be needed in a moment. We're going to need to remember that. So I'll call this Demo so I can find it. And I'm just going to choose last year, so I get a nice chunk of data from my storefront. There's a lot of capabilities here to filter these reports, to remove items we don't want to see. Now, I'm not going to do this today, but I could filter by division, user group. So if there's multiple departments of an organization, we may only want to see one department's orders. And if that's the case, we would put in their division tag, its unique identifier. Or we could comma separate multiple divisions if we wanted to see a couple or several divisions. By leaving it blank, we're going to see everyone's orders. Similarly, we can sort by which press or which manufacturer workflow an order was sent to. I'm leaving it blank. I want to see everything today for our demo. I'm leaving out some other information today that's covered in our documentation, but down here, I'm going to build my report, choosing from the available columns and removing other columns that are superfluous, things I don't need. On this demo site, I'm not using any of these billing code fields. I'm only using the first one. So I'm going to remove those from my soon-to-be created report so I don't have this extra set of columns just clogging up the report with blank data. Now, we recommend using the HTML format when you're building a report so you can quickly see the results on your screen, and I'm going to do that now. You can see that this report came up very quickly, even though it's a lot of data, and that's in part due to our engineering team and the millions of dollars we've invested in keeping this platform secure, reliable, and performant. Now, in this report, I can see the data and just kind of take a look and make sure I got what I need. And in this case, we have everything. We've got the price, the handling, the shipping, how it was delivered, tracking numbers, shipping addresses, and much, much more. Now, when I'm ready, I can download the Excel file. And this is a true Excel file. What I mean is that it actually has Excel data types. So when I open this report up, it's not going to guess if it's a date or a time or a currency. All that information comes through correctly and does not require you to go in there and do more manipulation. So now we have this report in Excel. Well, that's great, but there's a lot more coming here. So hang on, because we're just getting started. Once you have a report set up, you can schedule that report to run automatically on a frequency you or your customer prefer. We don't want to have to think about these reports. We want to set it and forget it and let these reports roll on in to you or other stakeholders or systems in your team. One of the reports that's very commonly scheduled is not about extracting information on orders that have been completed, but rather monitoring orders that are in flight. We have a report that's really important to know about called Unshipped Items by Manufacturer. This report can be used to identify possibly late or lagging orders that might be creating anxiety for your customer and cause you customer service pain if you don't find that order. So I'm going to create this report called Lagging Orders. And if a job is more than 5 days old that was sent to my vendor, Mike at Custom Shirts, I want to know about this if it has not been shipped. We have an agreement, let's say that these orders will be shipped within 4 business days. And this report is going to find any items that are 5 days or older that have not been marked shipped in the PageDNA system. This is important for monitoring SLAs, whether internally or with external vendors. So many of our customers set up this report to make sure that no orders ever fall through the cracks, which is really important. I'm going to go ahead and save this report. And you're going to see me in a moment scheduling that report. We don't have any unshipped orders right now, which is great news. Now, once reports have been created, there's a lot more you can do. And we're going to talk about report scheduling right now. I'm going to go schedule a report delivery. I'm going to choose my new Steve demo report, if I can find it in here. There it is. And I'm going to choose this report to be delivered once a month at the end of the month. And there's a lot of other details I'm skipping here today, but I'm going to go ahead and have this report go to me at steve@customer.com. That's going to be the recipient. This would be you or your target. And then we can have this appear to come from any address you want. So maybe you want this to come from customer service at yourdomain.com. Once I set up a report here, PageDNA takes over. And you're going to see there is now a list of scheduled reports and when they are going to next run. In this case, I'm at March 16th. So this monthly report is going to run right at the beginning of April 1st in the wee hours of the morning. And it's never run before. There's no last run report. Back to my unshipped items report, a lot of our customers love to take the possibly late or lagging orders and have that report scheduled Monday through Friday. And they'll have this report be delivered to a production manager, either inside their organization or for print distributors or those using outside resources. They'll set this up to actually notify the CSR, the production manager at the outside vendor, giving them a little warning that we know that they may be dropping the ball on this order. Reports can not only be delivered via email on an automatic basis, but also in a brand new feature for 2022, can be delivered through encrypted secure FTP, meaning our files will be pushed automatically into a folder on an outside system. That's often used when there's automation to sweep these reports up and take them away. So as you can see here, there's a lot of capabilities in our reports, but we're not done yet. Now, let's say, for example, that you'd like to give access to a customer of yours or a team member or a department leader to some of these reports, but you don't want them to have access to everything because some of this information isn't their business. Maybe there's particular columns that are sensitive that you don't want them to see or they're not allowed to see. Or maybe there's other items for other teams that aren't theirs and aren't under their purview. What we're going to do now is talk about another extremely powerful feature in PageDNA where we have granular user permissions in our user admin tool. Let me go into there and show you right now. On my demonstration storefront, we have a user named Jane, and Jane is actually able to order on the site. She is an actual requester, so she goes in and orders print and promotional products and marketing materials. We want to give Jane some extra power. So what I've done is I've granted Jane access not only to the storefront, but to this menu. Now, that could be very dangerous because a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. And if we give Jane access to things like credit card settings and sales tax, she might inadvertently click a button and cause major problems. So we really need to help her and help ourselves by putting up safety guards, boundaries, so that she can't see anything she's not supposed to. And how we do that is we click on the word menu, and we're brought into a list of granular user permissions where we can dole out access to Jane and decide exactly what she's going to see. Now, in this case, I'm letting Jane edit addresses on the site. That's pretty safe. Maybe let her edit a drop-down list of cost centers, things like that, that customers may want to maintain on their own, removing you from being in the middle as the pinch point on maintaining the storefront. That's pretty cool, right? But in the reports, we're going to give Jane access here to some reports. Under saved reports, I'm going to let her have access to my shipped orders demo. Because this is a saved report, Jane will only be able to change the date range. She won't be able to configure the columns. So we're putting her into a mode where she can't get into trouble by going outside the boundaries we've set up for her. If we do give Jane access up here to one of these reports, she will have the power to generate reports and do what you saw earlier. So it's up to you when and where you want to give access to your customers to either the report generator or a saved report where they are kept in a little bit more of a confined space. I'm going to go ahead and save these permissions. And now I'm going to jump over to another browser window where I'm going to log in as our customer, Jane. When I log in as Jane, I'm in this menu that you just saw, but I have a much more limited catalog here. And when I go into the production side, into reports, you're going to see that Jane does not have access to scheduled reports. That's only for you. And when she runs a report, she's only given access to select reports, the inventory report here. So Jane can do everything that you can on that report. But if we go into the saved report, this report, Jane is only allowed the ability to change the date range. This again protects you and your customer from seeing things they're not supposed to and lets you get out of the middle so that your team members internally or externally can extract data as they need without needing to bug you. So very important feature. Now, do you need more than what you've seen today? Great news. PageDNA supports integrations into Crystal Reports, the industry standard for complex report generation, including pagination, tables, building complex pivot tables, and all sorts of fancy stuff like that. So if you need something beyond what you've seen today, we have that support through SAP's powerful Crystal Reports program. I hope this helped you see some of the power of PageDNA's reporting system. If you have any suggestions on how we can improve our product or ideas, please let us know by emailing success@pagedna.com. This has been Steve Enstad, CEO of PageDNA. I hope this has informed you, whether you're new to PageDNA or a seasoned vet. Thank you for your time and attention, and thank you for the trust you put in our platform, processes, and our people. Have a great day. Thank you.